Hey there, this is Katherine, and I am sharing a couple of stamp sets and die sets that I picked up from LDRS Creative, also known as Little Darlings on HSN. They had an auto ship a while back in 2020 of some of these adorable little pocket pal sets. That's what they call them because they're so small. And then the dies, like the tree, for example, in this case, it cuts out the windows, but you can put the little pals behind them. It's really cool. So they had those for auto ship. I missed out on them, and then I saw they had them just for sale individually, and I was able to pick one up. So you may have purchased this through the auto ship from HSN. But I'm going to start out on this first card. I'm using my Copic coloring paper. I think it's called Express It. I get a big pack of that, and that is the paper I love to use for ink blending for alcohol markers. And I'm going to use my trusty Gina K black amalgam ink. It's Obsidian is the name. It's a very dark black and a very deep, deep black color. And I love that. That's my favorite shade. You see, if you've seen any videos, you know I use that all the time. So I'm going to stamp that out. Got a great image. These are high quality photopolymer stamps. And I have some of their other stamps as well, but these are very, very nice from that they sell on HSN. I've got now the little friends, the Woodland friends that they are called. There are a bunch of them, and they're so small, but they have terrific detail. That's one of the things I love about LDRS is all the details that they put into the drawings. So to me, it gives you so much interest already that it makes it very easy to create projects because the details are in there with the lines and how they've drawn them. And so really you just need to color and you're good to go. So I'm going to take a minute and start coloring in just a second, but I'm just kind of pointing out how cute these little pals are with their details. And then I did stamp an extra piece of watercolor paper with the tree that I'm going to use in my second card. So I just wanted to show you that that is where that came from. I've got a 5x7 piece of watercolor on that one. I love that LDRS has on the back of their packaging, they've got colored images. It's a great inspiration point. So when you get them home, you kind of have some ideas of what you could start with. And that's always helpful to me, especially when I want to do a quick coloring to already have a reference point. So I will keep that paper and put it in my stamp pocket that I use to store. And that way, if I ever just want to pull it out and do something, I've already got some inspiration. And I'm using my Tri-Blend Spectrum Noir markers. These are the ones that have the three pieces in it. And sorry, I was trying to think of it light, medium, and dark. And they are shades that work together, that complement, and so you can do some quick and easy blending. I am just using one shade on these, a lighter shade and then a darker shade. And keeping it very, very simple. They're so small, and I know it's hard to see them very close up. I should have probably zoomed the camera in a little bit, but they are so cute, and again, such great details in them. And I'm just adding different colors, and again, using that sheet for inspiration. And then I'm going to be coloring the tree in just a minute, and that took a good bit longer than these, so I'm going to just play some music for that. I've got it sped up a little bit, but I did want to leave that in just so you could see the tree. It was pretty easy. It didn't take a ton of time. It was not quick. It was not a quick thing, but it was so much fun to do. Very relaxing and very beautiful. Just again, lots and lots of great details in it. So like I said, I'm going to put in some music, and I will use a little bit of Copics in that tree as well for my base. But I'll just put everything in the description, and I hope that you enjoy, and I'll check back with you in a second. Okay, so I've got my tree finished, and now I am going to die cut it. You can see the die looks a little funny because it will cut one side of it'll cut the door out but leave the hinge, so to speak. And you'll see what I'm talking about. It's so cute. I love the design of this. And it adds such a fun surprise to this sweet tree. It looks great as is, but then, oh boy, you get to open the doors. I think that is just too cute. And you can put your little pocket pals in there. So another fun element to it. And I'm going to glue this down onto a piece of white cardstock. I wanted to have white behind my little pals, and so they would pop off the paper. I'm going to add my swing next and glue that down. I did not pop that up. I glued that directly to the paper. And then I'm going to start spending some time figuring out what little friend is going to go where. And then I will add foam adhesive to all of them. But this card will end up, this first card is going to be an A2 size card. The second card will be a little bit larger because of the technique I wanted to do with the watercolor coming up. And so, but this one, I'm just going to fill in all my little friends in here. And they're so cute, and they have such great detail, which makes it very easy to color, I think, and then just kind of put this card together. So I like the ones that have the little arms kind of hanging out the window. Looks like they're leaning on the windowsill. It's just so sweet. I've got this little, I think it's a fox maybe, that has a little butterfly that he's chasing. Maybe that's a rabbit, I'm not sure. It can be whatever I guess you want it to be. And I like too, in the example, I noticed that she had some of the animals colored blue. I mean, why not? I mean, we're artists. We can do whatever we want to with them. So, but I kept these, I guess, on the more realistic side. And so I've got all my little friends added. I'm going to add this piece of paper to a larger pattern paper, this yellow that has these random dots that I thought was sweet. And then I'm going to add this all to a top folded A2 size card that's in red to pull out a little bit of that red from the door and the window. And I am going to, I was thinking about adding a little bit more, and I just decided to add one more little owl up at the top, but I'm just kind of playing around with it. And I will pop one more up there, and then I'm going to come back and add something on the inside. So I decided not to do a sentiment on this one because I just wanted the card to be front and center. And I decided to add my sentiment on the inside. So it says, "We are all so very proud of you." And you can, it has a lot of, this stamp set has a lot of individual smaller stamps, word stamps, so you can kind of build your message, which is fun. So that's it on that one. And I've got all these other little extra pieces for future cards. Okay, so the second card, I have stamped that tree onto some watercolor paper, and then I am going to take this Hero Arts rainbow pad that I got in a card kit. It's been a while now. I know which card kit, I just can't remember which month it is. But I've enjoyed this a lot, this reactive ink. And it's so pretty. The camera won't really do it justice, but the colors are so beautiful. And my pen, I'm having a little bit of issue here because I don't have quite enough water in there, so I'm just kind of making do with it because I didn't want to stop. I wanted to finish this card, and so I had enough water, I just couldn't get it to come out. So I think my pen may have been malfunctioning. This pen is very, very old. But I finally get enough coming out, and then I'm using that. And this ink works so well on watercolor paper. I'm going to do a video with it one day. I have not. It's on my to-do list. I really want to sit down. I use distress inks a lot, which I enjoy with water, but I'm very curious to take this ink out for a spin myself. And so that's on my to-do list, is to try this out. But it is just so pretty. So I'm going to dry that off. I'm going to flip it over. I need just a little bit more ink. And to finish this off, I want to go back and fill in those a little bit gaps that I had, and then I will darken up a little bit of the green. It's such a gorgeous green. And then I'm going to work a little more on the blue and the purple. And then I'll finish by coming back onto that red. Now, obviously, I didn't keep this a traditional card. I did that on the first one with traditional colors. This one, I just wanted to play with some watercolors. I love to watercolor. The trend is probably going away, but I am going to keep watercoloring because I just enjoy it so much. It's such a forgiving medium, and I just love the organic look to it, especially on a tree. I just think that's a lot of fun. So I use these dies. These are from LDRS as well. These are on HSN. I'll link in there. I really cannot believe they're still available. They are awesome. They came with they're 2 different sets, but they come with stencils that you can use to build an image, and they are incredible. And one of them is a scalloped die that's included, and then there's another set of dies in the other set. But again, and I've used these in a video before, and they're so pretty. I can't recommend them highly enough. I have enjoyed them a lot. So I'm just going to add this all onto white cardstock. I layered a piece behind it, and then I'm going to layer it onto a card. It's a little bit bigger than A2 because that scallop die is an A2 sized, and I wanted to have a little bit of a larger card. I didn't want the front to be just scalloped, so I'm adding a little bit more larger card behind it. I'm going to take a second and stamp out some strips, some sentiment strips. These are from LDRS as well. You can see it's well loved. And I'm going to stamp them onto white cardstock using the Gina K ink. And then it has the little rectangles, the little squares. They're squares, not rectangles. The little squares in the corners that help you line up your die. And I have it upside down because I can see that the congratulations doesn't fit. So I fixed that, and then I'm going to run these through my machine, and I will have a lot of sentiment strips that are perfect, and I love the font on these. They have a lot of them. I have 2 of these, and I would like more. They have a bunch of them for different seasons, Christmas and fall, and I have a long wish list of the LDRS strips. Okay, so you can see I've come back, and my card looks a little different. I decided I did not like the white card base. It was just too washed out, and I wanted a little bit of color, so I trimmed it down, and I added this to this light purple card base, and I thought it just made it pop a little bit more. I felt it got lost with all of the lack of color in behind it. I needed a little bit of the contrast, and so I went with the purple. And I chose my strip that I'm going to use, and I'm going to add one of these little LDRS foam strips that I use a lot for shaker cards. It's great for that strip size. And I'm saying thank you for being you, and I kept it, like I said, the white because I wanted the contrast against the back. Now I'm going to come back in with a few sequins that I've had for a while, and I'm just kind of placing them with my tool and deciding where I want to group them together. That's always the hardest part, is deciding where to put them and having enough balance, and finally I decide on where I want to put them. What's interesting about this is once I switched to my right hand, I am left-handed. Once I switched to my right hand, I could not hold that tool to save my life. I'm often reminded how left-handed I am. My husband is ambidextrous and can do all this stuff with both of his hands. He plays tennis right-handed, but he writes left-handed, and I really have to do everything left-handed. So you can see I'm just totally fumbling with this. I'm off on a tangent, but it just got me thinking, like, gosh, I cannot do this. And so when I switched back to the left, it worked great. So that's just your study of being the difference between being left-handed and right-handed. And I could not do it right-handed for sure. I'm all left-handed. Anyway, thanks for sticking with the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I had an absolute blast with this set, And these 2 cards, I had so much fun. And thank you for watching. I hope that you will subscribe. I hope that you will like the video, and be sure and share it. If you have a friend who enjoys card making and this kind of thing, be sure and share. I'm looking forward to being back with you soon with some new card making ideas. So have a great day. Thanks so much.